Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DML podcast. You got Sean and Kim back at it again. Kim, time for some real hockey. Enough with these practice games.
Definitely. Fortunately for the Ducks, they're always the last team to start the season for some reason. Why is that?
Oh, yeah, we got to wait like another six days or something like that.
Yeah, October 12th.
And against the Sharks again. We haven't seen them enough. But anyways, I'm just excited for Ducks hockey to be back.
Definitely.
We also got to see like pretty much a sneak preview at what we think the opening day lineup's going to be in the last game, and then the practice lines that were this morning as we're recording this on Sunday night. So Kim, anything jump out you from the lineup? You see any surprises there, or were you just like 100% perfect in your lineup projection video?
I was not 100% perfect. The biggest shocker is $7 million man Troy Terry on the third line.
The lines they're not static. They can change around, but I mean, he's going to have a lot more space and he's going to be matched up against the other team's third line. So if we want to bounce back season from Terry, I mean, he might have a good shot there.
I actually like the lineup. I think it's good because Terry's kind of a puck hog, likes to go through everyone, and then gives him the opportunity to playmake for Frank, because he's a pretty good playmaker, pretty good passer when he wants to. We would like him to shoot more, but, he's always not hitting the net, I guess. And then we don't want, Strummer to really have the puck, so it works out well in that case.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. They may take it all the way unless Frank's wide open, pretty much. But, I mean, like you were saying with Terry, I feel like you'd say that about, wanting them to shoot a little bit more most of the time. But, there is one person on the Ducks that you can't say that about. That's Cutter. And how do you think Cutter's looked in these preseason games?
Not afraid to shoot the puck. What a concept for a Ducks team.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 12 shots in one preseason game. Didn't quite, I think he had one the next and then 5 the next. So he's got to find his pace, find his rhythm, find his opportunities. But at the end of the day, just keep shooting. When he was on the ice, it was just a totally different Ducks team, I felt like. It was kind of crazy to outshoot a team instead of being half as many as the other team.
It was so refreshing to see, because I can't tell you how many times I've been on the center, the crowd's yelling shoot at the players to shoot the puck. I don't think people are going to be saying that when Cutter's on the ice.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess outside of we saw the lines. Were there, any standouts from preseason for you for good or bad reason?
Someone who didn't make the team, Igor Sidorov. I thought he looked like one of the best players out of all camp. Maybe not quite as fine-tuned defensively, which is why he didn't make the team, but I have a feeling he's going to be brought up pretty soon, sometime throughout the year, when injuries happen and stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for that series. He looked really good. Yeah, he was just dominant in the offensive zone. Really good controlling the zone, taking it in himself. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going to be up at some point this season. I mean, I guess another standout for me about, guys that might not be 100% locked in the lineup, Tristan Lino. Added 25 pounds. He looks so much more poised than he has in previous rookie camps, preseasons. And yeah, I think he's definitely ready to make the big club. How many games he's going to get? It might be kind of a rotating door with Zelli, but I think he's definitely ready to make the big club. So excited to see how he does this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really shocking that Zelli is not a lock for the lineup. I really thought he was going to be. He's someone, he gets on the ice, you notice his skating immediately. And I felt like this preseason, I didn't, which is kind of weird to say. He was very unnoticeable, I felt like, throughout. Kind of the same with Minty a little bit. I felt like I didn't notice him too much. He's been paired with Dumo, and Dumo should let him just go, be offensive like he's capable of, but it doesn't seem to be working for some reason. There's nothing Dumo's been doing, because I love Dumo's game so far. Minty just hasn't locked in yet, I guess. He'll lock in for this season. It's all good.
I mean, new line mates. Gotta build some chemistry there too. But yeah, like you said, I love what Dumo's been doing. I mean, it's just so nice to have kind of a defense first defenseman, which I don't know if there's that many on the Ducks. So he just looks he's very smart in the defensive zone. He's pretty big dude, got a pretty big stick. And he uses both of those to his advantage. Down by the boards in the defensive zone, there was numerous times where I felt like he won a puck battle and was able to reverse it to an open guy to start the breakout. So yeah, really responsible in the defensive zone. So you would think that would lead to, Minty being able to step up into the more offensive role between the two. And yeah, maybe Minty's just not quite there yet, or maybe they just gotta work it out a little bit longer.
I guess we should run through the lines. We never actually read them all, just for people maybe who haven't seen Derek Lee's tweets from practice and the lineups during the games. Because unfortunately, a lot of the games were geo-locked, like half of them at least, for people not in the SoCal. So if you didn't use a VPN, you couldn't watch the games. Top line, you got Cutter on the left wing, Carlson in the middle, Killorn on the right. Then second line, you got Fabry on the left, McTavish in the center, Z on the right, which is interesting on itself, Z on the right. But then we got Vetrano as the left wing on the third line, with Strome centering and Terry, which we already mentioned, on the third, on the right side. Fourth line is either a mixture of Johnston, Leeson, and then Lundestrom centering with McGinn on the right side. You can go defense pairings.
Yeah. Well, let's just start with the forwards. I mean, you said it at this, like, while going through it, but yeah, Z being on the right side, that's something that jumped out to me too. You know, he's we definitely see him on the left side more. I think he's more comfortable over there. Yeah, putting Z on the right instead of, maybe forcing Fabry to be over there as a new guy. Maybe Fabry's just way less comfortable on that side. Who knows? But definitely something to look out for Z, since this is such a big season for Z. He really needs a bounce back season. And I mean, Kim, you've been to more Ducks practices than me, but even you haven't been to all the Ducks practices. So maybe Z just looks that much better on the right side in those practices, and that's why he's there. But just saying that, Z hasn't been there before, so it's not like putting him in the best position to succeed this season at the start. I would think.
I feel like never be the case for Z. He's always having to pick up someone's slack. I feel like he never is put in a position to concede. We'll go back to the lineup, but Z is on the second power play unit, which is something Z thrives in. Having the extra space, he's a playmaker. It's something he needs to have first power play unit. And we haven't really seen the second power play unit just because, which is actually good in some cases, because Rich Clune is not doing his merit-based system anymore like Brown's doing. So it's actually the first power play unit actually plays a lot, which is how it should be. That means we don't get to see Z as much, and that's something that's going to hurt Z's game overall, I think. That's where he gets a lot of his points sometimes, is on the power play. And if he's not getting a chance to do it, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, and I mean, he's one of the best passers on the team, but one of the best to get a pass through the defense, for the one-timer on the opposite side. So, yeah, interesting. I mean, I guess you can say, like, this is just this lineup, long season. It's going to change. So maybe they're just doing this to start. But, yeah, I mean, still seeing, I just wish they would give Z more of a offensive chance. But
he definitely is not comfortable at center. But defensively, he shouldn't be at center. He should be on left wing. Yeah. But I guess Fabry's also left wing, so they got to split it up. Too many lefties in the lineup. That's the problem right there.
Yeah, that is the problem.
But it was also nice to see that Johnston feels like he's the extra body in the press box. Perfect. That's what his $1 million salary is for. Sit in the press box. So
or if there's another Johnston on the other team.
Yeah.
In the lineup, put him in.
For the fourth line, I thought McGinn looked really solid, considering he only played 26 games last year. So I was really impressed with him. I thought he'd kind of be someone who could be a big contributor coming into the season, and he has showed it so far to me. That's nice to see.
You think of a fourth line player, and Brock McGinn is like the fourth line player. And
he can throw some big hits.
So far. That's what I mean. That's what when I think of a fourth line player, I think of someone that's going to be throwing the hits too.
We also saw Leeson a little bit at center during the preseason, so trying him out there, but it doesn't look like it sticked. Lundy gets moved back. It might be interesting to see Lundy actually on wing, just because I feel like he hasn't really found his game offensively. Maybe a little less defensive priority, and he can maybe thrive a little more because he has offensive talent. He just hasn't been able to show it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it in a few seasons. I feel, and he's kind of in that lefty boat with everyone else. Just like some of the options for left wing. So I think I would kind of like to see him on center and put Leeson on the right wing, because Leeson's like a pretty good right wing for your bottom six. I mean, he could be he could even be on the third line. I think he's just got some good energy.
Either way, the fourth line doesn't matter too much. Those players would be locked down there, I guess. Someone who has kind of disappointed me maybe a little bit is McTavish.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to have the same energy to me.
He looked
okay. Maybe not.
Sorry. In the first preseason game that he played, he looked really good. Really, really good. And then at practices and in the last game, he looked terrible. He looked good for moments. Maybe he just wasn't trying to get hurt, which, fair enough,
hmm Right. Yeah. I mean, that's happening all over the league. So
Yeah.
good job that, the Ducks pretty much mostly escaped that. Yeah, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
McTavish is at his best when he's like really grinding through the game, and like you said, like that was something that was kind of missing in some of those preseason games that he was in. Well, anything else for the forwards? So you wanna read off the defensive lines now?
I guess I had that Fabry's looked really good as a new addition too. I thought he played a very good forechecking game. So take a penalty. McTavish, same as McTavish, their penalty line mates, perfect. Z's been looking good penalty wise. Who else is taking penalties? That's pretty much it. Just mainly McTavish is still racking them up.
Yeah, McTavish still has the problems.
But yeah, I guess we'll just move on to the defensive pairing like you were trying to do. So we got Fowler with Leno. Then we got Lacombe with Gudis. Then we got Minty with Dumoulin. Vakanainen with Zellweger.
Yeah, well, interesting to see how Goose is going to do with with the C for this year. I wonder if you're going to be able to see like a big change in his on ice behavior, off ice behavior. I don't really think so, just because that just seems to be his personality. But he's never been a captain before, so just be interesting to see how he does in the role. So excited for that.
He definitely deserves it. I feel like I don't know if I've seen a player who comes to a team and immediately been embraced by the fan base before, like he has.
Yeah, I mean the fan base and the team, and just everybody.
Everyone. And when he came from Florida, the coach Paul Maurice, he basically said the Panthers would not have gotten to the Stanley Cup final without him. He was such a leader in the locker room, even though he wore the A there, not the C. He definitely has that leadership. Verbeek said in his recent podcast episode that he's not really a vocal guy in the locker room, which is kind of interesting. But giving him the C will allow him to have that forum to be loud now. So he'll feel more comfortable, is what he hopes with the C will have. I mean, on the ice, you see it all the time. Even during preseason, he never took a game off.
And there was option play. He was always talking to the younger ducklings, we'll say. So that's kind of more of his style. But I think in the locker room, now that he has the C, he's going to have more of the floor to say what he wants to say. So if this is going to be, in fact, a team that's going to push for the playoffs.
Yeah, like Verbeek keeps saying.
If a lot of things go right, I can see it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I've also seen a lot of Duck seasons, and that almost never happens. So we're going to get into, I guess, season predictions a little bit later, I think. So maybe we'll put a pin in that. I think other defensemen that jumped out, Lacombe. I mean, even the quotes from Dumoulin, I think, coming in, was talking about how, or was it Dumoulin?
Gudis and Killorn.
Gudis was
quotes on him.
It was Killorn. That's what I was thinking. Killorn was really impressed with how much he's improved his game, and you could definitely see it on the ice. A lot more responsible play. Still would like to see him kind of jump up into the rush like he kind of did last season when he wasn't paired with Fowler. But he still looks like a big improvement. So if we're trying to for those predictions we're going to do later, got to factor in Lacombe being kind of a more stable force, I think, on the defense.
Yeah, Gudis said he looks like a man now. He's manly, as Gudis would say. He lost all his baby acne and got all this man strength. He's going to be on power play number 1 based on preseason so far. Big step up for him. I really thought Minty was a lock for number 1, or at least Zelly. Zelly's the odd one out. It will be Minty and Zelly rotating in on power play number 2, maybe occasionally Leno. But yeah, Lacombe, lock for number 1. He does provide a steady presence back there. He is one of the older ducklings, younger players, and so his
feathers are starting to come in.
Yeah, there you go. A few years in college, but honestly, to me, out of all preseason, he might have been the best defenseman. I'm not even joking. I was kind of shocked how well he did. It helps playing on his normal side, on his left side, and now with Fowler. He is also playing with Gudis, which is a big help. We saw what Vakanainen did last year with Gudis. Vakanainen, amazing with Gudis.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's you saw they were one of the best defensive pairs in the league. So that's the other great thing about Gudis, and why I think he should be wearing the C's. He really elevates the level of everyone's game around him. So last year, if you were telling me who's a better defenseman head-to-head, Vox or Lacombe, I probably would have said Lacombe. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pair does, because if they can elevate, Lacombe's game to up from that pair, then could have a solid. That's going to be our second pairing, solid second pairing. I mean, that's That's got to be our top pairing. I mean, it's so hard to tell. Yeah.
Optically, I think Fowler will be listed as the top pair wherever he is. Just optically, because Fowler's always been the top pair. But I think realistically, if you check the ice time, Lacombe and Gudas are going to lead the way.
Yeah, then Zelli being the odd man out. I just wanted you guys talked about him being on the power play, and that was something that surprised me because the few games we've seen him play, he was like the power play quarterback, and that's a role that he thrived in. So yeah, when the games he draws in, I wonder if we're gonna see him there or not.
Guess it's how they're feeling and looking in practice and looking in the games. I guess they'll lock it down, but definitely disappointed if Zelli in the lineup. Until Fowler is gone, Zelli and Leno are going to be switching in and out. To me, the D pairings just look so much better without Fowler in them, which is sad to say, but the Ducks system is more about, pushing pace, high tempo, and Fowler likes to maintain the puck. Even though, granted, he doesn't do well maintaining the puck half the time anymore. Just can't do it.
Well, that's an interesting point you brought about because, we had heard about all the Fowler trade rumors and everything, and, there is still some time before the Ducks' first home game.
That's true.
Are these rumors going to be different than the Gibby rumors, which are still out there? Are either of them going to be moved? I'm being pessimistic because I just haven't seen anything to, actually prove it to me. Okay, Fowler will move his no trade clause if he wants to. Well, we knew that before that rumor came out. If Fowler wants to waive his no trade clause, any player can do that. I guess maybe there's some talks about it, but we've heard a lot of talk and no action. So I think Fowler's to be here for a while, but it is interesting that, it is kind of bottlenecking the young defense in the Ducks right now.
I will say Verbeek actually made a comment saying that he was looking to trade Fowler. It's obviously they're not looking to do it right away, but if there's an opportunity that presents itself, they're going to do it. So he can confirm he is working on it. Who knows how much he's working on it, but it's going to happen.
I feel like they always use that language, if the opportunity presents itself, or if an offer came over that he liked, he would do it. And it's okay, well, that's true for the whole team, really. I mean,
that's fair.
So, we'll see.
Well, I guess you mentioned Gibby. Poor Gibson.
Yeah, we could jump into the goalies, yeah.
Yeah, as well, yeah. Out, probably now 4 weeks maybe. It's been 2 since they announced it, I'd say. Gibson has appendicitis surgery, he went in for. Emergency, so that's scary. Sean's had that one before. How was that, Sean?
Yeah, it was scary. I mean, mine ended up not being appendicitis, but the doctors thought it was. So I got rushed in and stayed overnight in the hospital. But yeah, I mean, it was scary. They're that was the one good thing about it is that you couldn't be on really solid food. So I just got a lot of milkshakes and ice cream. So
honestly, when that was announced, it felt really weird. I don't know. The Ducks recently have been trouble with announcing injuries, and it was just did he have it a couple weeks ago, or I mean,
yeah, news report.
It just felt weird because the Ducks injury thing right now is just they have not been totally honest with injuries recently. I'll also say that. I feel like.
Yeah, newsflash: Gibby has emergency appendicitis surgery 4 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's something with the Seneca stuff. I wasn't sure that, but yeah, it was just weird. Though Stahl is going to be rocking the number one for sure because backup wise, we have no goalie depth pretty much. Callie Klang, acquired in the Rickard Rakell trade a few years ago, along with Tristan Leno, and Tristan Leno was the second round pick.
Tristan Leno was the second pick.
So,
and I think that there was some other defenseman that got thrown in with that.
Yeah, a bunch of scrubs. I think you're right.
Yeah. Looking at the schedule, the backup probably is only going to need to play in one game. I think there's the one back-to-back, and
to open the season, no doubt. It's brutal.
I mean, looking at preseason, I mean, on the one hand, you want Klang to play you don't want him sitting on the bench. He's young. You want him getting games. You want him getting experience. But on the other hand, the very limited time we saw Dansk in the net just never really looked comfortable. Some of the goals he let in maybe didn't have a chance, but it was more so maybe not the goals that went in, but just how he looked kind of in the crease. It was just didn't look comfortable.
Very deep in the crease, and that's when your goalie's not confident out there. Good news though, Doug Stahl looked very good in his games. His first game was definitely his best, and then was perfect in the shootout. Sorry, didn't get a
always
shutout.
Dusty. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen a goalie that loves the shootout more than Dawson seems to. I mean, he just like thrives in those like in the big moments. I mean, we see it in the World Championships. He just seems to thrive in the big moments, which you love a goalie that can do that.
All those end of warmies, with Z McTavish at the end, that's coming in handy. He's seen Z and McTavish. Can't be much worse than that.
He's seen the best,
How
basically.
you say it. But yeah, good for Kling to make it out. He looked better than Dansk, I will say that. But at the same time, you got to wonder, there's a bunch of people put on waivers today, and there was quite a few goalies options, 3 big ones that really come to mind. I can't remember all their names right now, that the Ducks could take a chance on. Because at the end of the day, maybe you want to bring Kling up to get some experience sitting on the bench, which I guess isn't really much experience, but then you don't really want Butayets down in the AHL starting. That's a big task for him because it's got to be Dansk and him. And I really thought Booty would be down in the ECHL, not in the AHL. So that's another thing. I mean, we didn't even see him in the preseason because, that's a big step up. So AHL from a Russian league, it was some Russian junior league, is a big step up in itself. So I could see them claiming a goalie tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't, but just for Booty's sake, maybe they will.
I mean, there's definitely still time for that. The Ducks don't play for a while, so we're doing this because it's probably the last podcast before the season. But there's still some time for this to change. Hopefully, everyone stays healthy. We got no more emergency illnesses or anything like that. Knock on wood again.
Happens, though.
Yeah, practice is still there. Yeah.
I guess one question: do you think Dostal starts the season back to back, just so Kling doesn't play? Because it's a tough matchup. You got San Jose start, so maybe you do Kling that one because it should be less competition. But then the next game you got Vegas. That's a tough matchup. Usually that's the backup goalie's job, but to throw Kling.
If Kling is gonna play, he's starting opening night, and then I don't know, like added pressure on a rookie's first game. I don't know.
I probably want him in the one in San Jose, but at the same time, it's like, I think we have 3 days. Let's see, we have 3 days off. So we have 2 days. So you have the back-to-back, and then you have 2 days off. So it's plenty of time for Dostal to rest. But
I guess just don't. Well, that's what I mean. Like, don't force it. But Dostal's starting off the season, and if if we are like it's the start of the season, 0-0 record, we want to treat this like we're pushing for the playoffs. So Dostal gives you the best chance
It's true.
to win. But yeah, you also don't want to wear him down. But I don't know if a back-to-back at the start of the season is going to do that.
But if that's the case, why not bring Dansk up? Then why not have him sit on the bench? So that's probably is going to be Kling's game. I bet you he will start the season off.
Well, that'd be cool. He'll be facing mostly AHL level talent. No, just kidding. The Sharks improved drastically.
They did, but when that last game, they basically had their full lineup minus Celebrini. It was ugly looking. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that's because the Ducks are so much better.
So much. Yeah, we're a playoff team, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up for lineup. Let us know if anyone else jumped out to you in the comments or hop into the Discord and talk about it there. Let's see. There is some other things that have happened since we last got together to talk, Kim. There is some comments that came out from Lyubushkin about Greg Cronin that I think you've mentioned it in a previous video, but I thought we could talk about it here a little bit more in depth, just because it is interesting. Kim, do you want to? I don't know if you have that quote handy. You want to just read it for the people listening, just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit long. It wasn't just because we weren't winning. There were a combination of factors. The coach, Greg Cronin, was very tough, and psychological atmosphere within the team was difficult. It wasn't that I just wanted to quit hockey at the moment, but I did catch myself thinking, am I really tired of hockey already? Was the big quote of the day. There was a few other ones about how we would warm up, and then they would sit there for 40 minutes listening to things unrelated to our hockey, and then we start watching videos, and then practice. And it was just exhausting for him, apparently.
I can't get out of my head like the first quote. I'm like, I just don't even want to play hockey anymore. It's just like, I don't know, a toddler kind of throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm not going to play no more. I don't know, maybe Lyubushkin was having a rough day. The practice thing, it sounds crazy. So I just don't know how much. And I think this was translated from
Yeah.
Russian too, so
That's
maybe
important
something's
to
lost in translation.
It's important to know.
But I don't know if we really heard like kind of feedback from players or negative feedback like this from players or former players about Greg Cronin, or at least not like this much.
Honestly, when I first read the quote and heard about it, I was very concerned. My stance has lessened because I feel like Bush was like extravagating it a bit, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
exaggerating. Yeah.
the fact that they warmed up and then sat, that's concerning in itself. 'Cause, like, how does the medical staff not tell Cronin that's idiot? And how does Cronin not know that? He's been a coach for, so many years now. How do you not know that you need to warm up before you start, warm up, stretch, and then play? Or do the video first, and, it's just like, doesn't make any sense there. That was the most concerning thing to me. And obviously that Bush doesn't want to stop playing. Stop playing is like, whoa.
Yeah, like you said, I think this is like Lyubushkin kind of exaggerating plus translation. So yeah, at first it was like just because it was like made out to be like this huge news, like Lyubushkin had this terrible stuff to say about Cronin that like I initially like thought it was negative, but then after reading about it, and then even with like the practice thing, Lyubushkin even goes on, I think, later to say that they stopped doing it that way, and they're like, oh, we're going to do it your way. So I mean, I feel like that's like a positive that we could take from the quote that Greg Cronin, they made changes. Greg Cronin, this is his second year. He's pretty, was his first back then. So I mean, he's new with this. He's trying different things, and I think there's a little bit more to it than just like warming up than sitting. I think there's something else going on there.
Unrelated to hockey is interesting. Yeah. Like, it was just something that because he's a vet, he didn't find interesting. Maybe
that Boston personality.
Yeah, I don't know, because at the end of the day, Cronin's job is to really coach up the young kids, and Lyubushkin's a vet, so maybe he just didn't find value in what Cronin was talking about. Who knows? At the end of the day, we're not in the locker room. It's definitely something to watch and be concerned for. But I will say, anytime I've listened to Cronin, like podcast interviews and stuff, like he did a recent podcast, like the podcast came out like a few days after this, and it's just, I agree with so much what he says. I don't like how he does everything, but he knows he can be better. He said that, he struggled with last year, and he was just shocked by how much unrelated hockey things he has to do as a head coach when it comes to that. So he's now in his groove. He knows everyone. He knows how everything's set up. So hopefully he does well. And this is the year where it's do or die, really, for Cronin, for me. I still think he gets another year. He maybe does go bad this year, but this is my end of supporting Cronin if it goes wrong this year. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, that podcast was a really good listen. That's the one on Duck Stream. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that after this one. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I mean, everything Cronin said, I feel like hockey-wise or in interviews, I agree with. I could see how he could come across maybe as pretty intense. I think a lot of that is just him being a Boston boy. But yeah, I think, like you said, this is a big year for Cronin. The team doesn't need to make the playoffs for me for this to be a success, but there needs to be improvement, and the team on paper looks improved. So if the team doesn't do that, then unfortunately the way it works in sports is the coach is the first part of the problem and the easiest to fix, i.e. getting a new one. But I don't know if they'll do that. I mean, we got to see how the season pans out. I think this team is going to be better, so that's why, I think I agree with you. Cronin's going to be here for probably another season at least.
And also, I will hope that Verbeek's going to be more involved this year with the locker room too. So, he was taking a step back. Now he can help kind of coach Crow if he needs to.
I think he mentioned that on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, I believe. So, that's going to be really, really, really interesting because he said he was just trying to learn and sit back, and now he's going to be a little bit more involved. So that's something that will be interesting to see what that even means. I don't know what that really means.
I think Cronin also mentioned in his podcast that he sometimes was too much bulldoze kind of thing. He basically was maybe too much involved sometimes, and that players would tune him out just because they didn't. At some point, when someone's yelling at you, you kind of like, you do it all the time, kind of thing, what he's supposed to do. And Verbeek told him to step back sometimes. So that will also help Cronin. He'll know when to bulldoze and then when to leave it to the captain, which is another reason to have a captain. Now he doesn't have to do as many battles, probably.
Yeah, should help. And Cronin having the whole season, kind of going through, kind of learning. And he's going to continue doing that. I mean, should be a successful season, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Well, now that it is the start of the season, we got the home opener. What's the date for that, Ken? Is that the 16th?
October 16th, 7 p.m.
We thought it'd be good to maybe like kind of go through maybe some going to a Ducks game tips, or what's our like game day routine. So Kim, like game day, or let's just say it's opening night at Honda Center. You're at home. What are you doing to get ready?
Well, first off, I gotta get there nice and early, 2 p.m., because that's when the orange carpet starts. So if you want a chance to high-five the players, get some autographs, and see them walk into the building, that starts at 2 p.m., which means I probably want to be parked at my parking location around 1, because it takes like 20 minutes to walk in, just because my mom's a little slow sometimes. But, there, and then get a line on the barricade. I wonder which side it will be on this year, because last year it was up towards the front, and I thought that was just really dumb because we're on the blacktop, saw sun everywhere. But it was the year before, it was on the backside, nice and shady. Maybe that's not as good as a camera light, though, I will say.
Yeah, I was thinking pictures or something maybe.
But it was hot last year, so...
It was very hot.
Maybe change of clothes so you can walk back to your car, because you have time in between and go get dinner. Because that orange carpet thing usually only lasts like 30 minutes or so. So it's not that long. You got plenty of time till the game. Doors usually open an hour and a half before. And warm-ups start at 6:30 basically. So if you want a spot for warm-ups, probably get there earlier than that. But if you look up at the scoreboard, 16 minutes left, that's when the players come out.
There we go, then.
What are you going to be doing?
Yeah, well, me, I'm going to be hustling my butt to get there. I'm going to be coming from work. I don't think I'm going to take off time to go to the orange carpet. You let me know if there's been a big improvement from last year. But yeah, I'm just going to be hustling to get there.
It is kind of suck that it's on a Wednesday for most people. Like,
right.
Ouch. I'm thinking that I will live stream the orange carpet this year, folks. So if you can't be there...
As long as there's no signs up.
Yeah, as long as there's no signs. Which, by the way, there's still signs at Great Park saying no video recording or live stream. So that's still dead in the water.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to make some nicer signs.
No,
or maybe you should just make some. Be like, hey, I made some with a plaque. And then you can just like hide the DML logo.
Yeah, like a QR code. Maybe they'll never scan the QR code. They'll think it's to their website. Oh, it's just to their website,
Yeah.
Subscribe button.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Sean makes it there on time. I'm impressed every single time. Like, perfectly times it where he walks up and the puck's about to drop. It's amazing how he does it. Coming from wherever you're from. I never forget anymore. I remember. Yeah,
I'm coming from South County, so it's a little, and I work a little bit north of there, so a little bit of a drive, but yeah, I got a pretty good system. It's been working out. But yeah, if there's any other like things, any other questions about going to a game, drop a comment if you can with your question, or again, jump into the Discord. There's a wealth of knowledge in there of people that go to Ducks games, so they can help you out there.
I guess I will say one thing: they have a new security system this year that's really nice. I actually even bring my bag.
That was really nice.
I have a little fanny pack that I usually carry around, and I'm able to wear it. Then I don't have to take it off. I don't have to scan it. Just walk on in. And also the tickets. So someone doesn't scan your tickets anymore. They still have someone standing there, but they have these barcode stands, and you just take your phone out, put it on there, and do it yourself.
I will say it was very slow when I did it. Some people get a little quicker.
By the third time.
But yeah, not having to take out my wallet, keys, phone, not having to show what's under my hat should speed up, I think, getting in there still. So that was pretty cool.
If you've ever been to Disney World, it's basically the same system as there. Disneyland hasn't adopted that system yet, but eventually they should.
On to some new changes. These ones are a little bit more controversial, though. We have a new goal song, Brohem, Rest in Peace. One interesting fact I heard, and I forgot who tweeted it, was that Brohem was the longest standing goal song in the entire league. I
think that's Anaheim Ducks Day in History on Twitter. Every single day he posts some Ducks facts, so that's kind of interesting. So follow him for sure. I think it was like 21 years, something like that, with Brohem as a song.
As much as I love Brohem, some great memories, being in the building for playoff games, and I just remember that song, either the songs or the fans just screaming that thing, and just the energy was so cool. If we are doing this big rebrand, and we are doing a new era of Ducks hockey, I guess it makes sense to do, but I mean, I'm always going to be nostalgic and probably like Broham better. That's the old man in me. But I love Offspring, and I love that they kind of edited the song to make it a more like kind of, O's and Hayes. So I'm sure it will grow on me. But yeah, I was sad when I saw the news initially.
What's the full song name?
Coming for You. So the song is Coming for You by the Offspring. It's edited from the original song, so it makes it a little bit more fun, I think, to, kind of sing along or scream along. So I'm sure it's going to grow on us, some Z goals, some cutter goals, and then get into, kind of yell that will be fun. But Kim, yeah, any other thoughts on that?
We all kind of knew it was coming. I mean, Offspring has become such a big component. I feel like Ducks games recently, at least last year, they had the whole couple Offspring nights. They had the jerseys, concerts.
Yeah.
So you knew it was coming. It was kind of already phased out last year, Broham was. There were some Offspring songs being tested, I felt like. Honestly, the last game, I really liked the song. I don't know if they actually turned it up so you could hear it, which I kind of noticed they have been turning it down for like Broham. So it was already kind of hard to hear. So yeah, it sounded really good to me last preseason game there. So I don't hate it.
Not only the goal song changed, Kim, but the win song change can no longer say, Alexa, play Sweetness.
Oh, man. That one probably hurts a little more. Not going to lie. I feel like... did she play it for you? I could hear Alexa a little bit.
Alexa did play it.
Oh, no. Copyright. Not really. But...
Alexa off.
But, yeah, it's No Doubt now.
That one, threw me for a loop. I don't know where that came from.
I was not a fan of it, not gonna lie. It's definitely a fun song, I will say, but it didn't feel right in the moment. Maybe it's just because it was just a shock, like, whoa, we're doing something different. And that we only did it once during preseason, because the Ducks only won one home game during the preseason. They were 3-2-1, but only one of those were at home. So we only heard it once. We'll have to hear it again, but yeah, it was definitely a shock to be like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe it will grow on me, but it doesn't sound like a hockey song to me. But
if I had to pick, I prefer the goal song better more than the win song.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and I still like Broham better, but yeah, there's no that difference. And
at the end of the day, Ducks start winning. I don't care. You can say whatever you want.
That's going to be my favorite song ever. I hope I get sick of that song, actually.
Exactly. No doubt I will. That's what I should say. No doubt.
Yeah. Let's see, are there any other big changes coming up this season? Let's see, we talked about the changes with the teams. We talked about the off-season. We talked about Ponda. We talked about the new songs. What else you got, Kim?
The Ducks have invested heavily. Apparently, the rumor is $5 million into a new light show.
Right.
And it's going to be insane from what I hear. It's going to look like, the Panthers did for the playoffs, like the floor is moving. This kind of sounds like what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I saw there's some people that know more about those cameras. They were posting the cameras on Twitter, kind of showing the improvements. They didn't test it out during preseason.
Just lights.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, but now you say that, I might have to look into at least getting out of work a little bit early to make sure I see that, because I've seen some pretty cool preseason shows, the things these kids can do nowadays with their technology. Really looking forward to that, because on the music side, the Ducks have really tried to make it like a party in there. And if we're going to try to make a party in there with some lights, I freaking love me some party lights, so let's go.
Another thing is the Quack is back, folks, too, at the games.
Oh, the Quack. How could I forget the Quack?
Of JoJo's, 1, 2, 3, scream. Thank you. Better never bring that back, JoJo. I'm sorry. I hate that thing. I don't want a bunch of crying, screaming kids in my ear. But the Quack, I can get behind.
Hey, people used to say that about the Quack. So maybe the Scream's going to make a comeback in 10 years now. Maybe. But yeah, the Quack, when it was first there, was seen as kind of cringe, I think. But now nostalgia has won over, and the Quack is back, Jack, and I love it. Yeah, it's one of the. I'll admit it. There's sometimes I don't jump into every chant, but when the Quack is played, I can't help myself. I just let myself go. I have to join in.
And you can always just bring your death call, Sean. You can join that way too.
There we go. I'll have to bring that, because then maybe I can start the Quack. Maybe that's a new life goal, starting the Quack call.
So another thing, I was talking with Lacey, aka Double Hockey Sticks. Follow them on their socials. They're gonna be in Ducks Team Store consistently, so definitely go check out their merch.
Hey, merch right here. Leo season, baby.
I didn't expect it to go that perfectly, not gonna lie. But
Yeah.
I wasn't even trying to like shout her out or anything, but she is my friend. So we saw this post from a Kings Instagram. The Kings are coming to our building again, just like they did preseason. They bought out a section.
No.
We're annoying. They're doing it regular season. And Lacey had this idea. We all get Ducks quack, Ducks quackers, and we go to town. Go to town. We let them know anytime they start shouting, you quack away. That's the goal.
You mean duck calls, right? That's what I mean, duck quackers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Duck calls. Duck calls. Ducks.
I love that.
Calls,
I would love it to be like Boo Sellas at the World Cup in there for that. Just
Oh, you still
that'd be
got that,
hilarious. I don't think they'll let me bring that thing in.
probably But yeah,
But
so
I'll definitely bring my duck call in that game. That'd be really cool.
we're gonna need every Ducks fan to go there because it's tiring. The preseason game was, Ducks got.
They literally bust in.
Yeah, they bus in. This is the only game they usually go to because they hate crypto most of the time. I've seen Kings fan that's a Ducks season ticket holder because it's cheaper and closer and don't have to travel. It's like, doesn't make any sense, but okay, give us your money. Yeah, so we need to get loud because we don't want them to keep doing what they're doing. Even before the game starting, they're cussing, getting crazy. It's just the vibe they bring, and I don't like it. And we need to stand up and show out that Ducks make noise, Ducks fans get there, and kick their butts while we're at it, please. Make it easy.
I love that, Kim. This is Orange Country. This is Orange Country. Let's fly, baby. No, I love that idea. We need to like start before that, get that out, get the word out because I saw that post too. They're calling it the unofficial home opener, and oh my gosh, so arrogant, just so typical LA vibes, just disgusting.
So yeah, October 20th, 5 p.m. So on a Sunday, folks. You shouldn't be working. Get there early. Make some noise.
There we go. Love it. People ask me who's my least favorite team, and there was a time where I didn't say the Kings. That was more so when I was living up in the Bay Area, so didn't really run into Kings fans too much. But now that I'm back in Southern California, with a season ticket holder last game, and I don't know what it was, but can't stand it. So yeah, they're tops of the table for me in terms of least favorite team. Well, I guess I'll ask you, Kim. What's your least favorite team? Are you on board with that, or is there another team that you hate more?
You would have asked me this last year. I would have said at least I respect the Kings organization, but Blake has run that team in the ground, and they're shaping up for a downfall, and I can't wait for it. And then the Kings fans really sucked at preseason, so now I'm back on the train. I hate them with my life.
Yes, let the hate roll. Let the hate go through you. Yes.
But, the Sharks are always there, but I don't mind them. Don't like the Knights just because they get everything. Predators will always be there just because of their nasty-looking jerseys.
Turtle.
The turtle. Oh, Blackhawks. That's definitely up there. Oof, I hate them. Yeah. Okay, it probably goes Kings, very close Blackhawks, I would say.
Yeah, I think the Blackhawks have fallen a little bit for me just because, same with the Sharks have fallen a bit for me just because you can almost share in the suck together. So it's almost like a brotherhood of we're the bottom three teams.
But then their organization is the worst out of all those, I will say.
Yeah.
Organization-wise. But
yeah, we're doing that. Yeah. That's about it. We told the Discord that we were going to be recording, so we asked for some questions ahead of time. So we're gonna go through those, and last Discord plug. But if you want to get that, the same opportunity, hop into the Discord. We'll put the link in there. I'm so excited for the Discord. Yeah, it's free. I'm so excited for the Discord because last season, towards the end of the season when it had really grown, the away live game chats are so much fun. I mean, it's so much fun in there. A lot of the times, got a great community, but the game chats are absolutely you'll have so much fun being in there, chatting with everyone while watching the game. So definitely hop in there. Kim, go ahead. What you gonna add something, Kim?
I was just gonna say, most of the time, the Ducks don't look that great, but the Discord makes it fun. At least you're smiling while the Ducks lose 5-0 or something like that. So yeah, that's all. But yeah, go ahead, Sean. Take it away.
No, I was actually going to turn it over to you. You want to take the first question?
Yeah. So how will we do in penalty minutes, power play percentage, and PK percentage this year compared to last? I think the Ducks will still be leading the penalty minutes and the whole league. I think that will still be the case.
Why would that change?
Why would that change? It's been like that for 20 years. Why would it change? So that will stay the same. But I will say, I wasn't thrilled with what I saw in preseason from the power play. It was better than Brown. And we're actually not doing the merit-based system. So I think we'll improve. I think we'll still be in the middle of the pack. I think we were 23rd last year with power play. So I'm going to say 20th. A little slight improvement.
For the power play, I think I remember us being like a few percentage points below league average. So I was going to say the same thing, but maybe we use a little bit different way to get there. That we will be probably around league average on the PP. I think a lot of that's just due to the growth from the kids, and also I think Cutter. I mean, Cutter's going to shoot. He's going to be the weapon. I think that's going to be a huge difference maker. And like you said, the PP maybe didn't look super great during the power play, but I will say there were some glimpses, which I don't know if that wasn't the case before, to be about league average, if not maybe slightly above league average. I mean, just depends how some things go. But I think we're both, to make it simple, we're both saying better. For the PK, this is where we were a fair bit below league average. But this is another one. So, I mean, that makes the answer simple. We're going to be better. I also think about league average just because the defense on this team this year is so much better.
Dumo.
And Dumo will make a big impact. Lacombe just looks better. We're seeing some new forwards on the PK, and I would argue some better players being on the PK than years past. So I think that will be a big difference maker as well. Yeah, there's offensive weapons on the PK. You're absolutely right.
I guess another thing to notice that on the power play and penalty kill, I've not seen Fowler on either. He has taken a major step back. That is a big change.
I know I was kind of talking down the trade rumors before, but I guess that's a point in the trade favor. That's evidence of maybe they are working on the trade because they're planning for him not to be there for the end of the season. So maybe it is going to happen, but I'm basically to the point where if I don't see it, I'm not believing it.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Contract.
So yeah, lead the league in PIMS again. Better on the PP, better on the PK, better on the PK substantially, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's see, how will the Ducks do against the rest of the Pacific? So how will the Ducks do? Do we want to do, I guess we can kind of break it down if we're going to go through, how they're going to do against each team. Kim, you want to start off? I guess I can say it. So let's see. I got the schedule actually pulled up here. So against the Oilers, they were 0 for 4. I think that's gonna happen again. Against the Kings, they were 1-2-1. I think we get a game or two there on them. I think the Kings have taken a pretty big step back.
But Doughty's injury.
Doughty's injured. I feel like they're always questionable at goal, but just because they run at the defensive system, they get by.
New system this year.
They're banking on Byfield having another big year, which we'll see if he can repeat.
Can Kopitar keep going? That's a real question.
Can Kopitar get going? So yeah, a lot of question marks there. So yeah, I think another game or two. Then against the Kraken, 0 for 4. I mean. I was surprised that they didn't win a game. I was like misremembering it or getting confused about the season before. But yeah, they got to get at least one game, if not two. Is that too much? I don't know. Kraken improved. We'll say at least one. Vancouver, they were 0 for 3. Could happen again.
One. I could see it. I see that. More likely it's 0 for 3, but yeah, I could see them getting one.
And we got then we got the Knights. They went 3-1 against the Knights, which I don't think that's going to happen again. We might,
great.
Yeah, we break even against them. I would be happy. So I think through going that, we're thinking that we're going to be 3 or 4 games better than we were, or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, last year we were 8-17-1 against Pacific Division teams with a negative 29 goal differential. So I'm thinking at least 10-15-1, maybe a few more OT losses. So maybe let's go 10-13-4. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you said overtime losses. I mean, a lot of these losses, if those losses turn to overtime losses, I mean, those are points, baby. So that's some improvement. So we could see some of that happening as well. So maybe, but yeah, I think me and Kim kind of agree on being around the 10-11 kind of area for wins against the Pacific this year.
Better. As it keeps saying, we're getting better. That is the goal this year.
Yeah. Okay, so that might give some insight into how we'll answer this question. Will the Ducks be above the Blackhawks and Sharks in the rankings at the end of the season? Ken,
Yes.
you wanna take a stab at that? Yes.
Yes.
That was easy. And then we also have now this one a little bit more difficult. Will the Ducks be above the Flames?
That's closer, but yes.
Ooh.
That's probably a little controversial on that one, I guess. But let's see. That would
Yeah,
bring us
I'm thinking.
Kitty's there. Sorry, cat.
Oh, this is it. Refrain.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Sean with the hookup. We're not being the Oilers, not being the Kings, not being the Kraken, not being Canucks, not being Knights. That put us 6th.
I'd rather say the Flames when we were going through the teams before. Whoops. We were 1-2 against the Flames.
We're going perfect against.
So,
we're going to be perfect against some team.
Oh man, we didn't do that last year, I don't think. Or yeah, we did. Not in the Pacific. Not in the Pacific. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. We're doing someone, and that's it.
I think I would say I think we're gonna have disagreement there. I don't know if they are going to be. I feel like the Flames have underperformed in
That's true.
the past couple of seasons, and I don't know if they're going to keep doing that.
Do you think the Flames
maybe
get
they
8
will.
points? Because I think that's the threshold the Ducks might barely meet if things go well. Is 80 points, but I don't think they'll get to 8 points. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're going to be high 70s would be my.
Okay, then the Ducks have more
Realistic answer.
responsibilities. I put the Ducks around 70-ish points, 73 points.
Why is my light just tearing off?
It's the mood light.
Hold on.
It's okay. The evil presence has entered your room, aka the cat.
I guess so. Okay. I don't know. It won't turn on. So this is it.
But on to the next question. Should the Ducks trade for Swayman? Well, sorry we didn't get your question sooner, but I would have said no still, and I still say no after his contract. 8 by 8.25. Ouch.
Yeah,
Seeing
that's a big one.
having a big contract in net does. End of the day, to me, goalies don't matter as much as they used to, I feel like. I mean, I just...
They can still steal you a game, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, the Panthers won with Bob, 11 million Bob in net. So they do, but I can't imagine locking up 8 million in net.
I think it's also because you got number one on your team, Lucas Dostal.
That too. That's
Pretty
a good part,
optimistic on him. If there was going to be a trade with Swayman, I don't know why you'd want both of them to be a goalie tandem. Seems a little bit of a overkill. I'd rather that those dollars be put towards the top 6, which Verbeek tried to do and wasn't able to.
RFAs in a few years that are going to be paying the butt to sign. Yep.
So we kind of foreshadowed this earlier in the show. Who should Cam be traded for? How do you think that could happen, Kim?
We don't really need a defenseman coming back. So if we are going to trade for someone, if we have to take money back, because we're going to have to retain him, which is what someone wants. Even though Verbeek doesn't want to retain salary, we're going to need a forward back. We're going to take some more money back. Maybe get a bad contract from a forward, because defensively, like you've already mentioned, Cam's already taken a spot. We don't need another defenseman back to...
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I would be happy with, just getting draft picks back or...
Yeah, money works.
Something like,
about that one.
Yeah, if the money works, like if we retain and...
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a second or third round pick, depending on how the money works out, sort of. But we also have to keep in mind that Cam has a 2018 no trade clause in his contract. So maybe a better question would be, where do you think Cam would want to go, Kim? Because that's he's got more of the leverage in this situation.
The thing that makes most sense to me is that Detroit, they're close to making the playoffs, and he's from there. His local team, he has a house there already. And, Verbeek has connections with the Iserman.
I think that makes sense, because I was kind of thinking the same way, like staying close to home, so Detroit, or just staying close to home, California, Vegas. Hate to see him in a Kings uniform. Hate to see him in the Sharks. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so that's why I was just saying doesn't want to uproot the family, so.
But he's a Cali boy through and through, so I could also, I think earlier today you did mention the Panthers. That's a possibility. They lost some defensemen, go from one coast to the other. Another same lifestyle for him.
Panthers, and we've seen this trend in the past. Oilers could use Fowler on the team, and we've seen them being a
defenseman and Nurse.
That's true. We've just seen them be a good trade partner with the Ducks in the past. So there's some
connection,
camaraderie there. And I think also Canucks, they had a defenseman or two, I think, leave. Myers needs a partner. So I think I could see him see him going there as well. In terms of like
Canada,
on that's what I mean on paper, but I'm
yeah.
sure I don't think Cam would approve one of those.
End of the day, he gets to decide where he wants to go, and what the Ducks get depends on him. Because if he wants to go somewhere else, guess what? He can. He gets to decide.
Yep.
Definitely want at least. If we're gonna get someone back, I want a right wing.
Forward coming back, preferably right-handed. Yeah. All right, Jim, you want to take the next question?
Who would win in a fight? A bear with chainsaws for hands, or a lion with rocket launchers for legs? I asked the question. You gotta go first, then.
I think I'm going with the lion, just because it has more range. Like these rocket launchers, I'm guessing, they're not just for, flying. They're going to be shooting explosives. So I think those beat chainsaws.
But I'm actually going to go with the bear and the chainsaws, just because I'll blow your rocket launchers or cut your rocket launchers to bits.
I don't think that's how rocket launchers work.
No. That's it. I had to be different, okay? I wasn't going to say the same thing.
All right, I guess I'll take the next one. This is like kind of a string of questions, but who would win in the fight? Smelly or Gudis? Smelly, known mod of Discord, drop in there to chat. Yeah, I guess ask a question. So go for it, Kim.
I think it's no question. It's Smelly. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say Smelly, just because I don't see Gudis hitting a girl, but
No.
I'm gonna go Smelly. Yeah, Gudis is. I mean, you've seen his game day fits. Dude just looks like a gentleman. And then last question we got. We have been telling people that me and Kim have been doing the learn to play the Ducks do. We don't know what that is. Basically, you can try out hockey for free. Ducks will provide you all the equipment. Usually about a 3-week camp once a week. A lot of fun. They do a great job with that. So me and Kim,
too, by the way.
award-winning. So yeah, I'm sure it's Google it. It's on the Ducks website. Hop into Discord. Sorry, another plug. If you want to learn more, we'll talk about it. So they asked, who is better at hockey, Kim or Sean? Kim, I asked the question.
Well, I think it's not really fair. I think I have to say Sean, just for the fact he has played a single season of Rookie League, and now has officially played his first game as a goalie.
That was wild. That was so fun. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I did learn to play, because like Kim said, I played before, but I always wanted to try out goalie. And they were able to provide pads for me to test out. So that's super, super cool. It's so much fun. And we've been to 2 learn to play. So next week is going to be the last week down at Great Park. And yeah, while I was at learn to play, a goalie didn't show up and they asked me to jump into their game. And it went about as you would expect. We lost 7-1. I gave up some greasy ones. I made some pretty good saves too, though. Probably faced about 40 shots. I don't know what that would make my save percentage, but
His team was the Ducks. They took a lot of penalties and couldn't score goals. Let's just say that. That sums it up. And Sean was not Gibson in net, but someone was Danskin-esque, right? No, Clang. You're at least Clang.
Oh, okay, good. But I lost fun with that. Yeah.
But yeah, he looks pretty not too bad considering you've never played before.
I think that did it, Kip.
I think it does. Woo! Hour and 10 minutes so far. I'm guessing.
Wow, maybe the longest. Yeah, maybe the longest pod will probably maybe, but we're getting better at this. I know I'm super excited for the season. Sorry.
Agreed.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. At this point, we're talking for an hour. I don't talk that much, Sean. We're going crazy over here.
We're going crazy, I guess, down now. I'm just trying to pull it out of you, and I guess I did a pretty good job this time. So I guess without being a dead horse, like, comment, subscribe, do all that podcast stuff. Make sure to watch for the new DML videos on YouTube. Watch this one on YouTube. I guess you already did if you're still here. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all the growth. Love you guys. And go Ducks!
Woo! Slade.
Duck my life, DML out, passions high, in Norwich country, let's fly.